You're watching the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, Ryan, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is TND. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the main event. Welcome to the Laser Show. Welcome to the bottom of the eighth in Arizona of the World Series at time of recording. I'd like to be the first to congratulate the Texas Rangers on winning the 2023 World Series. But I don't want to get too political because that's what this whole episode is about, folks. This episode is airing on November 7th, which is Election Day here in the good old U.S. of A. So we figured, why not debate some interesting wrestling stuff. Look at that, Tom. Perfect timing with those fireworks.
I know what I'm doing.
But yeah, so we did this 2 years ago. We had a lot of fun with it, and I don't know why we didn't do it last year, but we had a lot of fun. So we figured, why not bring back the great debate. So I apologize if I always look that way every now and then, folks, because my TV is in my office over here and it's on. And the World Series is Game 5 in Arizona. Texas Rangers are 5 defensive outs away. Excuse me, no, there's 6 because they are the visiting team in Arizona. But enough about baseball. Let's get to wrestling. So we asked our Patreons and people in the Microbrawler fan group today some debate topics, and we'll start with friend of the show, DDJ. He asked, who's your booker of the year so far? I'm curious what anybody has to say. Just like,
I mean, there's only one Booker, right? Booker T.
Well, I mean, that's very true.
Honestly, I'm gonna say WWE.
I'm gonna say WWE as well. You know, AEW has had its moments. They've gotten better recently, but it's felt to me the biggest thing that AEW did dropping their creative ball was they started hyping up the 4-pillar fatal 4-way at Double or Nothing way too early. And it just was like, okay, we know we're getting this match. We know we're getting this match. Is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? By the time it finally got there, it was like, oh my God, this match should have happened 6 weeks ago. So,
hey Nick, remember that time when Dave asked what we thought and then started talking?
Yeah.
Fine, you go ahead. I'm gonna watch baseball.
Yeah, baseball's dumb. I'm gonna say WWE purely because of how they handled Sami Zayn going over, how they handle LA. I don't like LA Knight. I don't get it, but how they're handling that, I think they're telling better stories lately. AEW is it's moments. The moments are phenomenal. The certain matches are phenomenal, but the story isn't there for me, and I think that's a big aspect of being Booker of the Year. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say whoever's booking for AEW or for WWE.
Who knows who that is?
It's Shane. It's got to be.
Yeah. Well, if it's Shane McMahon, then I'm 100%. I'm going to go with Shane McMahon as Booker of the Year.
Okay, so I mean, we all kind of agree on that. So we're not really much debating that.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of
some debate. It's like, what do you think about society? Well, I think they're terrible people.
Some would say that we are master debaters.
I mean, we're doing it in the privacy of our own home, so it's not like we're hurting anybody. So let's see what is we have from the magnificent Margaret. Oh, excuse me. Well, apparently it snowed in New York where she was. Here's a debate topic from the magnificent Margaret.
I got snow, yes.
What should be the cutoff? This is not even like debate topics. These are just questions.
Well, that's okay.
What should be the cutoff for a professional wrestler to keep wrestling? It's not always age because dudes like Sting still go, but Jesus Lord protector of all that is good and holy, deliver us from a Ric Flair match.
I mean, I'll take this one. I'll start off with this one. I don't think there is an age, but there's definitely, and everybody can think of one for like every wrestler where you've seen their match. And I guess Ric Flair, the last Ric Flair match, I personally enjoyed the last Ric Flair match because I'm a Ric Flair fan. But everybody, there's a match at some point that every wrestler has where you're like, "Ooh, dude, I don't know if you should be doing this anymore." And it comes at different times for everybody and stuff. But there's definitely that moment that, I mean, somebody needs to pull you aside and be like, "You know what, but this is probably not what you should be doing anymore."
I'd like to say the cutoff should be 52 years old because Shane McMahon turned 53 in January of this year and then tore his quads doing a leapfrog.
That's because of the leapfrogging. The leapfrogging is very dangerous. We all know this.
You're both wrong.
69.
There's a very clear cutoff, and it's 37 years old. If you're wrestling after 37, if you didn't accomplish what you need to accomplish by the time you're 37, you're never going to, and you need to just give up. It's time to call it quits. Everyone above 37.
I got a year and a half left. Let's go, baby.
As the only member of the broadcast now that is above the age of 37, I need to stand up for the old folk here. As a 38-year-old,
okay, boomer.
You know, I mean, I think DDP didn't start wrestling until he was 40.
Yeah, well, he should have never started.
We'd never have yoga. We would have never invented yoga.
All jokes aside, it's like Nick, like you said, like there's just a moment where it's like, all right. And I think someone like the producers in the back need to then just have that conversation. Hey, it might be towards the end now. And I think
most of the time it's on the indies. You don't even see these on like WWE. Like these moments happen in bingo halls in front of 25 people.
Yeah. I'll say this. As somebody who saw Ricky Morton do a Canadian Destroyer like
so good though
3 years ago, like I'll say this, it is very impressive. And I'll say this, as somebody who had never gotten to see the Rock and Roll Express in their prime, it delivers these cool moments that like I hope that one day my kids will be into wrestling the same way I am. Maybe at not such a level that I'm at. But that I can share these stories of, man, I went to the Civic Center and I saw, Ricky Starks. I saw John Moxley. I got to see the Rock and Roll Express. And I'm like, at the same time, did I really see the Rock and Roll Express? Because who's Ricky Morton's part? Robert Gibson?
Robert Gibson.
Yeah. Dude just stood on the apron the entire time just doing this. Tom, can you give me one of these? Like
somebody's got to do it.
He's just hyper. I don't even think Robert Gibson got in the match at all. But Ricky Morton's doing all the work. So yeah, it's cool to see. But at the same time, like if I were somebody that had grown up watching the Rock and Roll Express as like a kid, and then like I just see them like kind of broken all down. Like, yeah, it's still cool to see him like, leave the memories alone. It's like watching that Ric Flair match. Like we all jokingly, a group of us watched that and had fun in our Patreon chat, but at the same time, it was hard to watch because I know we had jokingly like Ric Flair could die in this. We said that jokingly, but at the same time, there's a part of me that said Ric Flair could actually die in this match.
I thought he was fighting Sting. He's not fighting with Sting. Coming back. Come back for him, man. Make your boy.
I'm gonna equate it to this. I saw Henry Rollins recently, and Henry Rollins is now 62 years old. Henry Rollins was the lead singer of Black Flag for the longest period of time. It would have been sad to see him singing Black Flag songs at the local theater in Holland, Michigan. But it was really cool to watch him talk and tell stories of his life. Yep. So I think there's a point where the performance needs to change, right? Like, yep. So if we're gonna do wrestling, maybe you're not wrestling. Maybe you like look at Booker T. And I don't like Booker T. I'm just gonna say it. Booker T is not wrestling anymore. Booker T can hop in a ring every now and then, and that's fine. Yep. But shift your momentum. Like Sting's a great example. Sting's not wrestling all the time. No. Sting comes out and does a couple things, and it's done. I think people just, it's hard to quit the one thing you know. Yep. So I get it. No, I don't get it, actually, at all. Personally, I don't get it. It's not something I'll experience or have experienced, but I understand like the not wanting to quit the only thing you know. What's then what, right? Like, it's like, well, then if I'm not doing this, then what am I doing? I've been doing this my whole life. So it's tough. I think Nick's nailed it on the head of.
And I got a great example from the other side. Like people were talking about, you're talking about Sting being like, just keep on going and stuff. And this might not be popular for some people, but The Undertaker kept it going. 3 WrestleManias too many. It's
10 WrestleManias too many.
It's stuff where it was like not, it was like a shell of himself that by the end of it, of like what, and it's just.
So I'd like to touch on something Tom said about like how people walk away and whatnot. So for those who don't realize, this right here, this is my Hall of Fame plaque from the high school that I've worked for over a decade. And in 2019, I had made the decision to give that up, knowing full well that I was still physically and mentally capable of doing said thing. Um, and man, did I miss it, like really bad. Like when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was during a football game, and they invited me up to call a drive during the game. And like I was just overcome with this emotion when it happened. They also only scored the only touchdown of the night that night. But like I was like, man, I really wish I could still be doing this. And so I got it from that point where like any athlete who's ever retired and then unretired, like I'll never, like I used to be like, oh my God, you just retired, now you're back. I get it. I get it. And I understand that where I'm at in my life with doing high school announcing is not on the level of playing in the NBA, wrestling in WWE or AEW or whatnot. But I understand the mindset of it. So I understand why they want to keep come back. Now, my situation is different in the fact that I am still physically capable of doing said thing. I'm not, covering up with a voice changer or anything like that. I'm not wearing, the equivalent of wearing a t-shirt when you wrestle instead, so you look, it hides the extra skin and whatnot. But I think, like Tom said as well, like you have to shift, you have to adapt. I think what Sting has done has been perfect. Now, part of that is not just Sting's in-ring ability to stay physically fit. It has also been the booking from AEW. Sting in WWE was kind of weird at times, but I think he's been perfectly sprinkled into AEW. And that's the one thing I will always give AEW over WWE is their integration of legends. They do it beautifully. Like Jake Roberts, like helped Lance Archer talk, but like wasn't overshadowing Lance Archer's in-ring ability. Like, Jake wasn't such a good talker. You didn't realize that how good Lance Archer was. Tully Blanchard, when he was with FTR, didn't overshadow such a great team. He just added to the element. So, it comes down to, physical ability. Do people want to see this in a serious matter? Not, Ric Flair needs to stay home. But
I was fired up when Nation Boy came out the other night.
It was exciting for sure. I just don't want to see him do any. I didn't want to see him get in the ring.
All right, he's ready.
Next topic. Vince McMahon in wrestling.
Cool son. Yeah, awesome son.
I'd also, before I let you guys go and watch baseball some more, I'd like to
go,
say how wild was it at I think it was the Tyson Fury fight, where it was Vince McMahon, Mike Tyson, and Eminem all right next to each other. Those are 90s icons, legends of the 90s.
Yeah.
Three of the top 10 biggest names in entertainment, potentially.
3 people that should never be sitting near each other.
And The Undertaker, too.
Yeah, he was down there, too. But yes, what are your thoughts on... Anybody think Vince McMahon is good for wrestling?
Yeah. So, and no. We would not be here if it was not for Vince McMahon being good at wrestling. And good for wrestling.
Yep.
Vince McMahon is a piece of trash old man who needs to go. But with that being said, professional wrestling as a whole would not have ever turned into what it did and what it is if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. Yep. Vince McMahon could go straight to hell. I don't believe in hell, but he could go straight to hell, and I don't care. I will die on the hill of saying there would be nothing in the professional wrestling world of substance today if it wasn't for what Vince McMahon did for wrestling. Is he good for wrestling now? Nah. I think times have changed, and it's the same thing with wrestlers, right? Like times change.
Yeah.
We've aged. It's time to shift.
Yeah.
That man does not need to work another day for the rest of 3 or 4 lifetimes before he runs out of money. Like, he's fine. It's just a case of, well, what else is he going to do? Stay at home with his wife? Aren't him and Linda divorced, or don't they hate each other?
I think they've been
Was he-
like silently separated for like 15 years,
Are
but
they
like
going to
held
stay
it
at home
together for
with
the
the
election.
kids? They're all off. Shane's in rehab for his torn quads. I guess Stephanie and Triple H are splitting. So
I heard that wasn't true though.
I don't know. I just heard it on Twitter, and we know that you can't lie if it's on the internet.
Very true. Very
So
true.
no, I think Vince needs to shift. I think it would be really interesting to see where he goes post WWE. Does he just disappear and do Vince McMahon things? Or I don't know, maybe he's like, man, I really need to start advocating for something better than everything I've been for a long time. And like, honestly, if anyone's gonna help wrestlers unionize, it would be Vince. Like, that would make it
Could
work
you
and make it
imagine
successful.
if he did that? That'd be pretty wild.
He would never. He would never. But if you want a powerhouse to get it to happen, imagine.
Vince McMahon is the president of the Wrestlers Union. Oh my
But
goodness.
of course he would be, because he's got to be the president, right?
And the CEO.
So I'm going to say yes, Vince McMahon is good for wrestling, and no, Vince McMahon is no longer good for wrestling.
Very true. I completely agree
I
with
would
that.
say Vince's place in wrestling now is like a nostalgic act. Like, they could bring Vince out and he could do the strut down and do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like Tom said, I think that he's an old man now. Like, if you were planning a party, like if you wouldn't trust your grandpa to plan your birthday party or like the Grammys. Like, you think that they're gonna let
my grandpa's dead.
Like,
I was going to say, both my
artists.
grandfathers are deceased, so I would not
me too.
let them plan anything.
I'm just saying, you're like, okay, Grandpa, we're gonna pick out the artists.
Should we play Taylor Swift
Grammys
at the
and
party?
stuff like, it's not. It's passed by. Times is passing by. He doesn't understand. I'm 38.
Time passed our grandfathers by too.
It's
Nick, you are old, man.
I wouldn't trust me to make the decisions on who to play at these things because I'm not cool and hip anymore. I don't know.
Yo,
I don't know.
I gotta interject on
what
that.
What is the Ice Spice? I don't know what that is.
What is Ice Spice?
I went to a Halloween party last night.
You rub when your arms hurt.
I went to this Halloween party. Nick, I relate so hard. They said, "Oh, put songs in the queue on Spotify that are, cool and fun." I put the Monster Mash on. It's a Halloween party.
Oh yeah.
No one enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what else did I put on? I put the fucking Electric Slide in. No one enjoyed it.
Oh, I hate the Electric Slide though.
I love it. What else did I put on? I put ABBA on. I put Ellen John on the queue. No one is having fun.
This is why we don't let grandparents plan parties. Okay, let me talk to you real quick because I DJ'd an 8th grade dance. Okay, let me tell you, pal. I played the Monster Mash. It was literally on the request form to play the Monster Mash and Ghostbusters, and somebody's watching me in Thriller. Guess what? I played that stuff. Went over like a fart in church. And for those of you that are not religious, it did not go over well. It went over as well as about a Ric Flair match in 2010 and beyond. It wasn't pretty. Okay. Like, it didn't work. But you know what did work? Taylor Swift, half hour, nonstop, went off the chain. I'll be honest. The Electric Slide, I don't think kids know as well. I didn't play that, but there was a kid begging for the YMCA, and he's belting out chorus and verse. And I'm not just saying YMCA. He's doing the young man, all of it. And he's screaming. And I can hear him over my speakers that are right next to me.
Wow.
Taylor Swift, everyone.
So what you're saying next year is that the middle school, instead of hiring you, should just put on Taylor Swift radio on Spotify?
No. Because I still gotta hype up the crowd.
You still gotta put the YMCA on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Taylor Swift and the Village People are on the same station. All right.
But so yeah, Vince is old. In conclusion.
In conclusion,
Vince is not DJing my.
That's my debate. That's my platform I'm debating on.
Let's see. This one's gonna be for Tom. our resident Simpsons specialist, from friend of the show on Patreon, Garrett Camara. Kang or Kodos?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
See, I'm gonna debate you on this. I'm going with Kang because he's alphabetically first.
I'm more of a
Okay.
groundskeeper Willie type of guy.
All right, so wait, let's bring this to a debate, a real one. The Simpsons family.
Oh,
Lisa, Maggie, Bart, Homer, and Marge. Rank them 1 to 5.
Oh,
based on what?
Quality.
Quality. So I'm bringing the ants in as one and one and
Best to worst. Best to worst.
best. Well, Homer's best in my book.
No,
Ned
one.
Flanders is the
Homer's
best.
number one for me.
No, Dave, we're just doing the fucking family idiot.
Fine.
Here we go.
Mo. All right, Nick, who do you got?
Number one. Who's your number one Simpsons family member?
Homer.
Homer.
Okay. You're both idiots.
Well, we're also exactly. That's why Homer's our number one.
It's Lisa.
I knew that'd be your number one. Overrated.
Overrated? She's the most underrated family member. Are you kidding me?
No, Maggie is the most.
I'm about to say Maggie. Maggie's
underrated.
a sleeper pick on this.
Maggie's a goddamn criminal. She shot someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? She got away with it scot-free.
We got to give Marge some credit too, because Marge has to deal with a lot.
Marge's is a top two.
Marge's mom gold.
Marge is it. Homer was it for the first couple seasons, and he went from like endearingly stupid to just stupid. There was no redemptive quality. Like the early Simpsons episodes, by the end, Homer learned a lesson or something, and like whatever. As the Simpsons progressed, Homer just never learned, and he was just a dumb idiot, and that's where it got lost. Do you know who's been consistent? Do you know who's been consistent throughout all of the years of the Simpsons? Lisa. Lisa's been consistent. Okay, Otto too, but again, not in the family. The answer is Lisa, and the answer is Kodos.
To bank off of this before we get off the Simpsons. Okay, everybody's favorite, like secondary non-favorite or family member, like Simpsons character. It can be like
secondary or just like any other character.
Any other character that's not in the family.
Santa's helper.
It can even be like Grandpa, like the Rex family. Like
I was always a big fan of Mo. Because there's like that dance class thing. It was like some guy's messing with your fly girl.
That's a hard question.
I get a kick out of Ralph. Ralph makes me cry, laugh sometimes. It's so funny. Ralph is a great character.
I'm in
so like,
danger.
I could pick like a one-off, like Lyle Lanley, the Monorail episode, phenomenal character. But that's like a one-off. I'm thinking like a kind of recurring. What about? I would say Smithers is up there for me. Smithers is absolutely up there for me. And Nelson's pretty high on my list.
Nelson's a good character.
Nelson grows like when he started getting feelings for Lisa, and like, yeah, Nelson's character development over the years was phenomenal. So I'm gonna say out of the family, Nelson and Smithers are probably pretty high up for me. That's a lot of characters to on the fly pick from.
Tom, are you a big video game guy?
No.
Oh, so I don't know if you'd be able to. I'd just like to say Road Rage for the PlayStation 2. One of my favorite games of all time. Hit and Run, fantastic game as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They just got to remake
They really do. Like, bring back Road Rage, please, God. That game was so much fun.
No argument here. What else we got? What other questions? Because we got off topic.
Yes, we did. Well, no, we stayed on topic of The Simpsons. So Garrett brings up, what do you guys feel is a fair price for a Brawler pre-order? I remember Barkin posted the No Yes Drake meme where it was Drake is like $14.99 plus $5 shipping. Nah, but it's like $19.99 free shipping. Hell yeah! But now some have been $19.99 plus $5 shipping. I love the brawlers, but I just paid like $28 for a Captain Insano. Yeah, I remember when the brawlers when they kind of went back to it, and like Barker's like, okay, just thoughts on everybody. Like, if you had a regular release of Brawlers, you need to pay like $25, and everybody laughed in his face.
Because
Here we are
they were
now.
like $12.99 for like the longest time. They were
They
like
they were.
$12.95.
Yep. And then things changed as everything does. Inflation is a big thing. But yeah, I think I want to say in that $20, twenty
I would
dollars is
say
kind of my limit.
25 with shipping.
Yeah.
That's something like I feel like it's $20 a brawler, $5 for the shipping. That's
It's
about right.
$50 a month with how they're releasing them, though. That's
Yep.
insane.
But it is also, for me, I have now become a lot more selective with what brawlers I get.
Yeah.
Like when they first started doing a pre-order every other week, I was on every single one, I feel like. But now it's like I'm picking and choosing. Tony Storm is now up. I'm skipping her.
I'm not. I'm really curious.
I think it makes it more fun to pick and choose.
Yeah, it makes it pick and choose, and I don't think I've really had any FOMO necessarily. With the only kind of FOMO I think I've somewhat experienced was the Better Than You Baby, because I wasn't a fan of the artwork, but at the same time it was like, oh man, this tag team is going to explode before we get these brawlers. Like, there's no way. So I think that kind of soured me on them. But then I'm like, the tag team's still going on. You got the Devil in play now, but
and if you're willing to wait it out, I mean, there's brawlers being sold now cheaper than what they cost to buy them, like for the pre-orders and stuff. Like, because people buy multiple thinking that they're going to flip them and make money, and then they don't,
or just try to get chases and just trying to recoup.
They're just trying to get.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll admit, I bought 3 Dusty Roads and hoping for a chase there, but
I didn't buy any Dusty Roads, so I'm hoping that somebody doesn't get chases and I can
swoop on in. I think a good price on, and this is gonna I'm cheap, I guess. I think $15 out the door.
That's my rule for like crate brawlers and stuff I get off of eBay.
If it was $15 out the door, I probably wouldn't pass on any.
Yep. No, I'd agree with that.
Honestly, I don't think I'd pass on any. Because if I'm spending less than $20 on something, it doesn't feel like I'm spending money.
And it's hard to pay that much for a little rubber dude this big when you can go buy like an elite action figure for the same price in Walmart. It's like has articulation and accessories.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So obviously every crate brawler has a chase. Should every brawler they do a pre-order for have a chase? Or should you keep the chases exclusive to the crate?
I think it should be exclusive to the crate.
I think you should only do chases when it makes sense. The chase makes sense. I think that they force a lot of chases. I think that if the Gangrel chase made sense because sometimes I just sometimes they're getting better at it and stuff. But
was there a daddy ass chase?
No.
So that means so some of the I think somebody said there was a was this AEW crate? I think.
Yeah, only a couple of the AEW crates have had chases.
Okay, so yeah, they're on and off, and I don't know if they advertise oh yeah, there will be a chase this month. I think that would help increase sales in crates. Not every crate is going to have a chase, but we're running low. There's going to be a chase in this crate. It gets people to sign up or renew their subscription. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think like I said, in a perfect world, yes, $15 shipped. My max is in that $20 to $25 range, depending on who it is.
It depends on who it is, right? Like you're going to do a 2-pack and I'm going to have to spend $40, $50 on it. Nah.
Like I love the Young Bucks, but I didn't like how they looked. So you know what I said? You know what? Not for $40, $50. I'm not spending that. But I see Black Machismo, who's cosplaying as one of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm like, oh, I need this. I don't care what the price is. I'll be honest. Half the time, what's that, Tom?
I was okay spending it on the Bucks because I like them. So again, it brings to it makes me more selective. I didn't get the Hardys. Those look great. I did not get them. I didn't get Meng because I forgot. I didn't get Will Ospreay because I forgot. Like,
bless you.
and there were too many back to back where I'm like, oh gosh, is this coming? Is this not coming? What am I waiting for?
Yep.
Can I afford it right now? So it's like, I'd rather them space them out a little bit more.
Yep. I completely agree with that. I would like a spacing out. It is kind of like, especially when you pick and choose, because I feel like the people who are getting every brawler pre-sale, they're just getting a box every week. Whereas I'm like, oh, I have a box. That also reminds me. You guys continue on this topic. I'd like to go grab something quick. By all means, keep going.
I would like it if they did the pre-orders where it was like, if they released them every week, but there were 2 weeks, so like you can at least bundle 2 of them with shipping. That would be cool. Like weeks 1 and 2 is the Nick brawler. Weeks 2 and 3 is the Dave brawler. Well, on week 2 we could get Nick and Dave. So like I think if they did something like that, that would be really cool.
I would like it if Pro Wrestling Tees just hooked up some like send influencer packages, to people that have podcasts that talk about their product on a weekly basis.
I like the lower guys. Yeah, that's it, Ryan.
I mean, they keep sending me chases, so
I mean, yes, there you go. That's
true. By the way,
got,
bottom of the 9th, 1 out in Arizona. Texas Rangers 2 outs away. So I got something from a good friend of ours. Speaking of friends, I don't want to give the address away there. But my friend, Mr. Matthew Cardona there sent me a little package ski.
That's the kayfabe address anyway.
To shoot, brother. To shoot. He lives in a box. He's always on the road. This thing looks sweet. Just saying. And I feel like these guys have not been that wild with brawlers recently, unless I'm missing something. But so yeah, you haven't had much hate on the major crate, major pod folk this year. So let's see what other questions we have on here. Think we might be able to debate. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Rick Pfeiffer says open versus mint packaging, and I think I just proved the point that I am an open. Let them breathe, my man. And to people who don't open them, right at you, pal. Right at you. This thing, like, you can't truly appreciate the details on these things if you don't open them. But I get at the same time the people that keep them in package.
I don't understand.
I have my AEW figures in their boxes here.
We're hitting. I think we just hit Brawler 400. How do you display 400 brawlers in how?
I saw somebody join the group that I think was at All In or something. They had like their AEW brawlers surrounding their chair from the event. There's a video of it in the Micro Brawler fan group. It's really cool.
There's cool ways to do it, but like if you're collecting a bunch of them, it's kind of hard, right? Like you're gonna run out of wall. I've got this thing's sick. I've got 1 billion of them behind me on 3 nail polish racks that are just stuffed to the brim. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Like I bought a new case here because I had my D-Top that now houses my Hasbros, and I moved the nail polish racks over here because I'm about to finish off my 3rd rack. So I'm going to need a 4th one to start putting brawlers in. But again, that's why I've gotten so selective. And the Texas Rangers have won the World Series, ladies and gentlemen. Their first in franchise history. There are now only 5 teams that have never won a World Series in Major League Baseball. Congratulations.
Go Hoisers.
Go Hoisers.
I open them. I get it. I see a lot of people in other toy groups that like have the like AEW figures or the like Ultimate Elite figures or whatever, and they're just on a shelf sideways. You can't even see the figure.
Oh, I hate that. When you see the side of the box, what's the point?
There's like why? Just like why? You don't even get to look at the figure at that point. So I'm always an open collector. Like if you look, I'm gonna just try to pick this up. I don't know if you could see my AEW figures.
I can.
They're all loose. And they're all for sale. All 63 of them, $10 each.
Well, I'll say this. So I keep mine in package, but I'll say this. It also, like, I don't have many. I have 9 figures, 9 AEW figures. And again, I picked and choose. I have majority of the first series, and I have a couple after that. But my biggest issue, not so much with one like Nick Jackson here, but like they come with all these pieces, and I'm like, I can't really display the pieces, you know?
Yeah.
So you
bag
kind of
'em.
got to pick and choose. Like it's one thing if there's an accessory with it, like Cody has the sledgehammer here. Okay, you can put the sledgehammer in his hand, no problem. But the Kenny Omega that is too far from my reach, it has extra hands. So what do you do with those hands? You know, just it's kind of odd. But
I only have one wrestling figure on card, and that is the great Shane McMahon.
oh,
I only keep in here to protect his quads from leapfrog. This is a leapfrog protection.
So these are the only WWE figures that I actually, that I thought about actually collecting, and that's the Ultimates. But I think the packaging is so cool on here, where it's got all the accessories and are all visible in one spot, which is why I keep it in package. Like again, I'm not like if you're a kid, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like looking to display this, and I think it looks great in package. And that's a big reason like why I don't like collect the what are the elites or whatever they are. They have that the whatever line WWE currently has where like half the window is covered, and I'm like, that looks terrible. Like you can't see the wrestler's legs.
I think it's still elite. It's just they changed the packaging.
Is it elite?
No,
Is that what it's called?
yeah, it's still the elites.
It looks like crap. So
I would debate on the platform though that I personally keep them open, but there is no right or wrong way to do this. It's your collection. Do it however it makes you happy. If you want to keep them in the package, then go for it. That's the right way. If you want to open them, then that's the right way. Whatever you want, you're gonna stick them in your mouth. Who are we to tell you what to do?
Stick them in your mouth.
Our next topic here, friend of the show, JP Hooper. Thoughts on Dave's fear of being cashed in on? Perhaps a discussion on how Iron Claw is probably not going to be a comedy.
No.
It's really funny that it's about Dave being cashed in on, but I'm the king.
Yes, seriously. JP, read the fine print, my friend. It's for a crown shot. You can't rename my office, pal.
But listen, like, here's the thing, though. Like, I also, at one point, I couldn't wait to be king because I never got an opportunity. And now I'm kind of, like, over it. So, like, if JP wants to cash in, there's, what's that, Full Gear's coming up? I wouldn't mind doing a little Tom versus JP at Full Gear. I wouldn't mind.
It's not going to be like a Hulk Hogan, Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett moment, right? Where the finger...
A little finger poke of doom action?
The finger briefcase of doom.
How do you even rig that?
I don't know.
Listen, we've tried to rig stuff before and it doesn't work.
Everything we've ever done has completely been on the up and up. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah,
we have integrity.
We've never scripted anything.
No.
Let's see. Dougie Nunya, friend of the show, he gives the question, thoughts on the black and white brawlers recently, Dusty, Tony, and if you'd like to see any others in black and white.
I love it.
I mean, it's got to be the right person. Like, I just don't think you need anybody. I'm waiting for Matt Cardona to do, I think he did was it the Rider Taker? Because he couldn't do the Indie Taker or whatever it was. When he did that, I'm waiting for that brawler to be made in grayscale. Or as
I'm
a major
trying to think who else would be good, and there's only one wrestler that I think it would make sense for.
Blue Cane.
And it'll never happen. And it would be the chase would be black in the grayscale.
Danhausen.
Gold Dust.
Oh, that would be cool.
To me, that would make sense. The regular Gold Dust is gold, and the chase you do in grayscale.
What about the what was the tag team that in WWE? They were like the Von Villains. What about the Von Villains?
Remember the Von Villains? With
it was like Aiden.
I know who you're talking about. Aiden English and the dude with the curly mustache. He did like a shoot. Simon Gotch.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Because I remember he did that shoot interview on Enzo that like showed up on
I'm
my
about to did
YouTube
he beat
feed for, like,
Enzo up or he got
he
fired?
did like some
Enzo
sort
up?
of shoot interview, and that interview showed up on my YouTube For You page for weeks and months. All right, so
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, like you said, it has to make sense.
yeah, I don't know who else you would do.
Andy Kaufman.
Ooh, I kind of like that. I like that idea. Not too shabby. Yeah, it'd have to be like the older, like a Bruno San Martino, maybe
Just
sort of
something like
thing,
black and white TV
or
type of thing.
Even like classy Freddie Blassie.
yes, because I just think of Blassie doing that time promo that they used to open up like every WrestleMania with.
Goldust. So I like Goldust. That's a good idea.
This
So
would be a cool one.
so we'll do one more. It comes again from friend of the broadcast, Mr. Garrick Mara, and that is Top 5 Tuesday. He's bringing it back,
Whoa.
baby. He's bringing it back. We bring you the top 3 Tuesday almost every other bi-weekly. Garrett goes Top 5 Tuesday. I'm bringing it back, baby. Top 5 brawlers you still want. Um, Hold on. Top 5 brawlers you still want that have pro wrestling tee stores, and top 5 who don't have a store, but you wish they would, so we could get a brawler of them made.
Oh,
Done.
I don't know who
Got
has
it.
stores and who doesn't. I'm not.
I know
either.
right off the bat I have my 5 for who
All right,
does.
go ahead.
My top 5 is Tom, Nick, Gerald, Harold, and myself. Boom. There's your 5. We have a pro wrestling tee store,
We do
buddy.
have a store.
ProWrestlingTees.com/the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. And that's nerd spelled NRD. Danhausen
Cool.
pin sold separately.
Cool. 5 with us. I'm gonna do with a store. Gentleman Jervis Cotton Belly, because I think that would be really fun.
Yep.
I'm gonna do Mick Foley, all 3 faces.
Yes.
And I'm gonna do. Oh gosh, who has a store? Let's say. I don't know. I don't know. So that's my 4 with a store. Without
a store.
Without a store, I'm gonna say the New Day.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Bailey, obviously. And I'm gonna say Doink the Clown.
Solid. Nick, how about yourself?
Well, I don't really know who has a store and who doesn't, so I'm just gonna kind of look at here. I would like the Dudley. Do the Dudley Boys have a store? Let's just say the Dudley Boys have a store.
I mean, you got that Bubba Ray. Or I'm sorry, Bully Ray.
I want like not even camouflage. I want like tie-dye ECW Dudleys.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we could do here. I'm gonna go to jump to the side of people that don't have a store. We're gonna jump around a little bit. So obviously I would want Shane McMahon, and then we could add Blue Cane to I don't know. People I don't know. It would be helpful if I had the list
Bella
of people
Twins?
that have stores. Yes. Ooh, what about the Yeti?
Yeti!
We can Captain Asano, we can get Yeti. I just want WCW brawlers and ECW brawlers. It's really what I want now more than anything.
That's valid.
I don't know.
Who in ECW that doesn't have one would be like your.
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't like Bam Bam Bigelow, but he doesn't have a store. They already said no on that. That would be like pretty.
All right, fine. Who in WCW?
You know what I really want? I want them to do a Lionheart Chris Jericho. I said that like 10 times. Like why couldn't they do some kind of like? It doesn't have to be like exactly, but I mean they can spoof it a little bit.
Yeah. Not against that. I'm trying to think of the 5 that I'd want that don't have a store. Obviously John Cena, big C Nation man. Let's go Finn Balor as the Demon. I think would be really dope. I agree with Tom on Doink the Clown. Needs to happen. I was gonna say Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler would be cool,
but he has a store, so trying to think who else. Like it's got to be
They made a
WWE.
lot. They've made a lot of brawlers now. It's just
Did
be
we
way
say that
easier
Bam
to
Bam
get.
had a store or not?
He
Bam Bam does not.
Okay, then I put Bam Bam Bigelow
Oh,
on.
Captain Lou Albano.
Oh yes, but I think Captain Lou has a store.
That'd be a cool one though.
Juice and Thunder Liger. That's another.
Yeah,
one.
I'm looking at his mask right now, and I'm like kicking myself in the ass.
It would be the great. It would be the great brawler.
Oh, I would. That would be one of the brawlers where they could do like the 8 different variants because all the
That would
different.
be awesome if they did. That would be so cool.
Oh, Ryan Park can take my money.
Or like great.
Wait until my spring student loan check comes in, though, please.
Captain Lou Albano, at least looking under the seas, does not have a Pro Wrestling Tees store, but Captain Joe Shoes does.
Oh,
so
well,
Give me a long-haired the Giant, Paul White. If we can get Captain Insano, we can get the Giant.
Giant Gonzalez.
Giant Gonzalez with the hair bodysuit. Yes.
I'm all for that. I'm all for more. Give me more Hasbros, baby.
Yeah,
Give me more
Honestly,
Hasbros. Yeah. By the way, folks, speaking of Hasbros,
is this happening? Is it confirmed?
I'm not saying what's happening yet, but we have a guest coming up that I'm very excited to talk about. That's right, baby.
Is it Giant Gonzalez?
I think he's dead.
Oh, well, the spectacular was last week, so we gotta keep this thing going.
But folks, I will just say this: get your sweatpants and your wallets ready because you're not going to want to miss the episode that we have coming up in a few weeks on this broadcast. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below there. Check us out on all the platforms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or X, whatever the cool kids call it. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/WNRDB, because guess what? There we get chases. Boom. And also ProWrestlingTees.com/The Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. That's nerd spelled NRD. Get your Wrestling Nerd Broadcast shirt. Get ready for the holidays. It makes great Christmas gifts. Ordered today, so you get them in time for the holidays. And,
Mariah Carey is awakening right now.
Mariah Carey is defrosted,
I don't
and
want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
Do you guys like that I stayed up till midnight last night to post that on our story? Boom.
Underneath the Christmas
At midnight, it was up there.
I just want you for
That's what I do. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, on behalf of myself, the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter, I've been Dave Canning, and our very own alto, Mr. Tom says hi. His Royal says Highness, Mr. Tom Sasso. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because, like Kevin Durant said, I almost say Captain America. Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.
Amazing.